Good morning, travelers, and welcome to Hidden Lotus Tarot. Today is April 9th, 2017. I can't believe it's already the first week of April is gone. Um, let's see. I was supposed to put this open reading up yesterday, but I really needed to take a break. So I didn't do it, and I'm doing it today. This is going to be a full moon reading, and we're going to just open the cards and see what we can see in terms of what energies are going to be coming up for some of you. This will be a general reading and the messages will not resonate with everyone. So please try to take what you can and disregard what you cannot. Let's see, we are in the retrograde seasons. We have lots of planets in retrograde. There's Jupiter, there's Saturn, there's Venus, there's Uranus, I believe. I'm not exactly sure. I was looking at my chart and I didn't see it being retrograde, but that doesn't necessarily mean anything. But we have lots of planets in retrograde. So I want you guys to heed the advice of the prefix re in front of the word retrograde and rework, revise, review, reassess, tweak some things. Retrogrades, particularly Mercury has gone retrograde today. So particularly we don't wish to really start anything new, but maybe we want to drag out some old things and dust those off and take another look at them. And that could be in any area of your life. I did some pre-shuffling of the cards, and I do have with me today the Radiant White deck. I was going to use another deck, but I think it would be easier to use to stick with the standard deck. I have the La Vida Sibilas with me. I don't know. I might pull out another deck. We will just see how that goes. I have the Angel Answer cards, and I also have the Heart Oracle Tarot. So this is not for any specific time frame. As we know, the full moon is all about endings, but endings also create a new beginning. So if we're going to give it a general time frame, let's say it's within the next 2 weeks, between the full moon and the new moon. Now, the full moon will be in Libra, and whenever we have a full moon, the full moon always opposes the sun. So if you have your birth chart, you can look at where your sun sits and where the full moon and where the moon is going to be. You can do that on astro.com, really, if you just want to look at the transits, and it'll kind of show you where your house is. For those of you who are on the website, I think in the astrology primer, there are instructions on the last page on how to get to the astro.com, and there's instructions on how to set up your chart so you can look at it. And it's free. It doesn't cost anything. So new subscribers to the channel, welcome. New subscribers to the website, welcome. Old subscribers for both the website and the channel here, thank you for sticking with me. Facebook people, I have some stuff coming from you. For those of you who might be interested in joining the Facebook group, you can click on the little eye in the corner. That'll take you both to the, wait, that's backwards. For those of you who are interested in the Facebook group, go to the About box section and there's the link for the Facebook group there. For those of you who might be interested in a personal reading, or you'd like to go over and take a look at the membership options or the personal readings or anything, I think I said that, go over, click on the little right eye here in the corner, and that'll take you directly over to the website. I do ask that if you wish to book a reading with me, particularly one by phone, there is a tab. When you go to the menu, it says readings by phone. If you hover your mouse over that, there'll be a subsection menu that pops out. The very top says important information on booking. Please read that. It'll tell you everything that you need to know in order to book with me, okay? And I ask that you read that before you submit any payment or complete the booking form, and you do have to do both of those. If you want a video reading, there's a separate tab, and that is self-explanatory. So let's see. I believe that's about it. Now, as I was saying, I did some pre-shuffling, and a Six of Wands has come out. And the Six of Wands traditionally is a card associated with work. The wands are traditionally associated with work. But I always read the wands as like a motivational card, with kind of an emotional component to it, because in order for you to gain anything or to make any gains or achievements, you first have to be motivated to get out there and do whatever it is you want to do. And the Five of Wands speaks to some kind of victory. But yet, with this card, for me, the way I interpret it is that whatever challenge that you face, because there was a 5 before the 6, and the 5 speaks to delays or obstacles, arguments, strife, hassles, conflict. It is about an outside influence coming in and kind of destabilizing the situation. The 6 implies that you got over that, okay, and that you're moving through that. But the thing about this card is that please do not forget that whomever you were in conflict with or strife with, whatever gains you've made, it is because that person came into your life or came into the situation and destabilized it for you. And you were able to really overcome that and figure out how to work with it. You can see the look on the horse's face. He's looking like, really, you didn't do that crap by yourself. So, you know, give thanks and praise, I suppose I should say, even for the conflict and the troubles that you have, because this is how we learn our life lessons. So, all right, we're going to lay 9 more cards. I'm sorry, 8 more cards, and then we're going to get into the reading. I can already feel my Mercury retrograde coming on. I'm just, my mind is like, what? And I've been up since I don't know what time. Okay, so here we go. The Chariot, the Page of Wands, the Page of Cups, the 5 of Cups, the 7 of Cups, wow, the 4 of Wands, the Magician card, and the 2 of Wands. And underneath the deck, I have the 3 of Pentacles. Now, for those of you who are new to tarot and don't know a whole lot about it, the tarot deck is broken into 2 distinct groups. We have what are known as the Major Arcana cards. These cards are our life lessons, and they are cards that have names like the Chariot, the Magician, Judgment, the Wheel, okay? And then the second half of the deck are what is known as the pip cards. And the pip cards are our numbered cards. So this would be our 6 of Wands, 7 of Cups, 4 of Wands, 2 of Wands, but also includes our court cards. So our court cards are going to be our pages, our knights, our kings, and our queens. Okay? Now, and they just deal with the mundane. All right? In the center, what is our focus card? We have a 5 of Cups. And this card is representative of an emotional adjustment. Most people traditionally will read the cups as love, but, you know, even extreme dislike is an emotion, okay? So I just equate the cups to some type of emotional thing. And this card is about being sad or depressed or lonely or grieving over the loss of something that was very precious, that had, you know, a high emotional value content. There are 3 cups there. But this is also the card of the 2 of Cups in disguise, because if you see on the back side of this person, this figure here, there are 2 cups behind this individual. Now, off in the background, there's a bridge. And what do bridges represent? Bridges represent a crossing, and they represent a transition. They represent a way to move across something. And we can see that it's built over this river or this stream that seems to be flowing pretty well. There's a castle in the background. So that is an implication, or a home, that you will be transitioning or moving to perhaps eventually some emotional stability. Now, everything else is going on around this card. So this is our focus, Okay. It is also a 5. And as I just explained to you, 5s represent some type of outside influence coming in, some kind of destabilizing event, person, situation, what have you. Sometimes it could even be something that comes from within you. Why? Because they're cups that create a situation that destabilizes the event or the situation or the person or yourself. So we can see past, present, future, past, present, future with the interplay. That in the past, and this is relative, there is no timing in the tarot, but in the past, this could have been like last year, it could have been yesterday, it could have been 3 weeks ago. We see that something, we have accomplished something, we've achieved something here. And there's a relative time of, I want to say peace. And the reason why I say that is because I have this wreath there at the top of this wand. And the wand basically can represent simply things that you've done. Okay, well, I was able to clear this off of my plate, and I was able to clear that off of my plate, and I was able to clear that off of my plate. So let's say that we've got, to me, the wreath also is kind of indicative of the World card as well. And this could also be about something that came back from the past, and maybe that is what the destabilizing effect was. Something came back that we really didn't want to have to deal with, but we had to deal with it anyway. But now we're moving through that. And I say, indeed, that is true because we have the Chariot card here. Now, the Chariot card represents the sign of Cancer, and Cancer is ruled by the moon, and that is a water sign. So this could have, there are no women per se in this spread, but that doesn't really mean anything. The Chariot card is about being able to harness your emotions in such a way that you don't allow them to come in and upset, quote unquote, the apple cart. This card is about perseverance. It is about determination. It is about focus. It is about maintaining, keeping your eye on the goal or the prize. Now, we know that the Chariot itself is a war vehicle. It is not a smooth ride. This is a bumpy ride, and it may be dusty, it may be long, and it may be, a difficult trek. But if you can put all that to the side and just maintain the vehicle in the middle of the road, you're going to get where you're going. Now, as you can see here, he has the black and white Sphinx, and this is about the yin and the yang. And he has also, there are no reins, so he's able to really kind of just keep things steady and moving forward, even though he doesn't have any reins. And sometimes we have to do that. And to me, the reins are like knowing that you really don't have any control over it. And with the major arcana, in a sense, you don't have any control. And so sometimes you just have to kind of ride things out. Literally, that's what that means. Now, he has the moon, the crescent moons on his shoulders. And he also has the 12 stars in the crown, and he's under a canopy. So to me, this speaks to this full moon cycle or this moon cycle. And if we want to take it out, we can take it out to a month, okay? From one full moon to the next, all right? So we're looking at a 4-week time span, perhaps 4 weeks prior, 4 weeks coming up. And we see that some news has come in. Now, the Page of Wands, this news can be some exciting news, okay? It can be news having to do with a work endeavor or a new project, but it also speaks to some new kind of motivation. That's really how I see that card. This is about knowing that, you know what, I got through this, I got to keep going, so let me get myself motivated, okay? And that's the message that comes through. So with the Page of Wands, this card could also be about a new spiritual journey. But then it follows with this Page of Cups. And this would be our present line. Whatever this message is, we have an offer coming in, because pages bring news and messages. But to me, this represents an offer, and one that has perhaps a surprise element, something that would make you feel good, kind of like surprisingly so. And the reason why I say that is we have that fish popping out of the cup. This person's standing on the beach. So it kind of is an implication that they are at a place right now where they're not exactly sure. Look, We go from mountains to beach. Okay, so this could be some, like I said, it might be a work offer coming in where you're going to have to travel. Maybe you live in the mountains and you're going to have to travel down by water, around water, near water. Whatever this thing is, it's going to be exciting and it's going to be a surprise coming in for you. We're going to skip over that 5 of Cups and we're going to go to the 7 of Cups. Now, this is a 7 and 7 speak to an internal conflict. 5 speak to external, 7 speak to internal. So now that we have this new offer coming in, we may have a lot of choices in terms of how we're going to move through this or what our options are and how are we going to handle it. And so this can represent having so many options that we don't know which one to choose. This card can also be about fantasizing. This can be about thinking about how it's going. I'm going to say this, or I'm going to do that, or this is going to happen, or that's going to happen. But whatever this is, it causes some confusion inside. Now, I have seen these two cards come out together, the 5 of Cups and the 7 of Cups, to speak about someone who may be either depressed or has some kind of addiction issues. These are all cups across the center. Okay. And to me now, in looking at that, with this 5 of Cups, this 2 of Cups tells me that there's going to be a time of healing and reconciliation. And this is in the self, I feel. It could also be that maybe, you know, someone expresses, you know, this is what my issue was. This is what my problem was. This is why I was behaving the way that I was behaving. If this is the case, if there's something you want to get off of your chest to someone close to you, and be this a friendship or what have you, I will say that the energy coming off the cards is that it will be accepted. You will not be judged for it. You will not be ridiculed or derided for it. And you will not be rejected. If this is, to me, it reads sort of like some kind of confession. And that's really not the right word. But we see that somebody's trying to determine, well, you know, now that I've gotten myself all cleaned up, or now that I'm feeling better, or now that I see that there's a way through this, what am I going to do? I don't know. Because there's so many things I want to do. I don't know what is best for me at this point. We move down to the 4 of Wands, and the 4 of Wands is about stability. And it is about a celebration. This could be a graduation, the purchase of a new home. It can be moving in with someone or joining forces with someone. We have this is known as I call it either the marriage or the shacking up card. Okay. And the way that this reads, this is past, present, future, is that we see that there has been some kind of victory that has come to an offer that brought about some kind of stability. Okay, perhaps to your home life, or just the stability in terms of being able to stay motivated. Okay. And here we have the Magician. Now, the Magician is related to all 1 card. So as you can see, he has a cup, a sword, a wand, and a pentacle on the table. And those are representative of the aces. Now, we also have the Namaste or the infinity symbol, which is a number 8 turned on its side. Okay. And let me tell you what the number 8 means, because I can never remember what the 8 means. Eights are positive and represent positive changes, and implies that there is a focus on the completion of an event. Okay. It could be that it's near the 9, so you are getting to that completion. But the Magician comes in to tell you it is the way you're going to think about this moving forward that it's going to help you. You can either drag it out, okay, or you can try to change the way you think about the situation and view it from another perspective. It's not like the Hanged Man, but, you know, really, if you can change the way you view a situation, instead of looking at whatever went wrong as a failure or having it knock the wind out of your sails and knocking down your self-esteem. Look at it like a learning situation. Why? Because the magician says that you can create your own reality. So what perhaps society may say is a failure, you can buy into that if you choose, or you can just be like, oh, what the hell, dust yourself off, get up, I won't do that again, and then keep it moving forward. Now, we can see again that there's another contemplation, and I think someone is not exactly sure what it is that they're supposed to be creating here. The magician can really create reality with his mind power. And so if you have we see that there's some confusion here, and we see that there are choices here to be made. Okay, so if you know these two things, then what should you do? You should gain some kind of clarity and then formulate your plan, whatever that plan may be, and then decide. You see, this card says, I have two ways to go. I can go back and do it. I can continue doing it the same way that I've been doing it, or I can turn around and do it a different way. And we have this, again, that reference to the world there. Remember I said that wreath is sort of like the world card to me? I want everything. I want it all. So what do? I'm standing on this bluff and I'm looking out towards my future. What do? Well, I can turn my back on this and go back this way, or I can literally step into the future, but it's going to require that I have to be motivated to do that. Okay. And I'm almost ready to do that, but I'm really not sure. So I want to take a look at, or how am I going to do that? I don't see any coins here, so it doesn't look like it may be a financial issue. I don't know. With the magician here, it really says that this is really up to you to think about it in a new way. If you can think about it in a new way, you can and control your emotions. You can become motivated to get out and do it. And that's what the Pentacles represent. They don't just represent finances, but they represent the physicality of doing the work. Okay? Now we can see here it ends with the Three of Pentacles, and this is two people coming together to build a third thing. So this could very well be some kind of a business negotiation. It is also somewhat indicative. That's a nun and a priest. Okay? But yet they are both going to this workman, this professional here, to gain some, well, how much is this going to cost? What do I need to do? What could be some of the pitfalls? What is your advice on this? We can see that this person is standing on a bench, and this gives an indication that this person is in a slightly more elevated position than these two. Perhaps this is through their knowledge and their experience. But you know, this could also be indicative of someone wanting to take some type of relationship to another level. It's not a 2 anymore, it's a 3. But 3s are only the start. So what we want to do, because we can see here that even though that there's a victory here, this person is still stuck in this place of the 5 of Cups. And it's like they don't know how to get out of it, or they're afraid to make a move one way or the other. Sometimes that card can be a card of hesitancy. And we can see that the message in effect has come in. This is how, or here's your opportunity to get that stability that you want and that you need. Okay. The one that you've been out busting your butt for all this time, and maybe it's not going so well right now. But you know what? Stop looking at what you've lost and turn around and see what's there to be gained. This card, the 2 of Cups, is a card of partnership. Okay. But it's not only about the partnership with others, it is the partnership with yourself. Now, I'm looking at these 2s here. I have the 2 Sphinxes, the 2 Cups, the 2 Wands. This, it's a subtle message, but it is a message of commitment, of partnership, of marriage. Now, not everybody wants to be married like in the traditional sense. This could be about a marriage in terms of, some people are married to their work, or they're married to their job, or they're married to their friends, or they're married to their charity organizations. Commitment can be, you can be committed to many different things in many different ways. We also have this 2 reference over here, but there's a third person here. So I don't know if this is about a choice between 2 people. The reason why we have this Five of Cups, or that there's somebody who is in a higher position that perhaps has given word that, you know, whatever. This is the overall energy. So what we're going to do is we're going to pull the Sibilas on this. And the first card that I want to look at, of course, is this Five of Cups in the center. Because this almost reads like the offer came in and somebody like maybe turned it down. And maybe they turned it down due to some kind of past disappointment or something that they're still trying to get over and they haven't gotten over it yet. And maybe, you know, these are two Scorpio cards right here. This is Mars and Scorpio. And Mars is simply about having the motivation to turn around and you know, change the situation. Venus and Scorpio is about the depth of feeling. It is about, sometimes with Venus and Scorpio, people are like, oh, if I fall in love and that person hurts me, it's going to kill me. And I'm not sure how to do that. So they spend a lot of time fantasizing about it instead of actually doing it. Well, you know, if that works for you. And I think for some, you know what's interesting is that the four corners are all wands. A 6, a 4, a page, and a 2. So it's like whatever this energy is, it's hemming in everything else. There's a cross right down the center with these 4 wands. And we have someone who's like, well, I'm just going to go ahead and accept it and do whatever it is I got to do. But there's a deep, I think, sadness and a regret, emotional adjustment. And I think that, you know, with the Mercury card, and this card does represent Mercury, and we do have 2 cards of messages coming in. So I think, again, that this would be a good time. We know that Mercury's going retrograde today. I think this is a good time to check in the messages with yourself and try to review those and see what needs to change about what you're saying to yourself. It's a 5. This could be even about maybe messages at cross purposes. That's not really what I'm trying to say, but that's how it's coming across. So we're going to look at the 5 of Cups, the 7 of Cups, the 2 of Wands. Because this, to me, always reads about, it's a card of hesitancy. Yeah, you have 2 choices, you know, but you're not making either one. You're just kind of standing in one spot, you know, and you're contemplating which choice do you need to make. And sometimes it is just simply the act of choosing and moving forward that will get you through. It is about the activity. But with all these cups in the center, I think this is something that's very difficult for someone to come out of. You know, and it could be that everything else is kind of picking up or going okay in their life. But this right here, with this 5 of Cups in the center, says that there is something wrong. And this card can sometimes be about spiritual confusion, feeling spiritually lost, not really knowing what it is you need to do to fix whatever is ailing you. Yeah? And I do feel that for some of you with this the full moon can be a crazy time. It can make you highly, highly emotional. And as above, so below. So try to be very aware and cognizant and conscious of what you're thinking and what messages you're putting out into the universe. I think that the universe is trying to come in and help you. We have this, just these 2 major arcana right down the center, the Chariot and the Magician. And it's almost like the cards are screaming, you know what? I'm trying to move you through this, but I need your help. Okay? Now, and that could be the issue. That could be what the hesitancy and the confusion is about. If I act and try to work with the universe, am I going to screw it up? Or am I going to, or is it really going to work? Well, the thing is this. I think for some of you, the universe is sending you messages. I think you are getting there could be synchronicities, there could be signs, the same song on the radio over reminding you of somebody, seeing somebody's name or hearing it, or seeing a series of numbers, or every time you look up, there's a reference to where the person is from, or where they live. So it could be one of those things. So do pay attention to those, and then ask for the guidance that you need. What should I do? But I would dare say that if you are getting those kind of messages, that's the universe saying, hey, look, it's knocking on the door saying, I'm bringing you this opportunity. Now I need you to meet me halfway. And if you can look at it like that, I think you might be able to move yourself through that. Okay. Sometimes it is the fear of doing something, even though we see the signs in front of us. It is the fear. And that is working against the universe. Okay. I think this came up in a reading for somebody on the extended individual monthlies are posted over on the website. You can only access those through membership options. Please go over and take a look at the membership options, because there are 3. And it's not just the individual monthly tarots. There are birth charts, there are articles, there are all kinds of things over there. You can leave comments. You can ask questions. There's all kinds of information over there. And so I've been a little remiss in getting up articles and answering people, but I'm been a little just kind of off-put lately. And I'm trying myself to get back where I need to be. All right, here we go. I've shuffled those enough. We want to look at this 5 of Cups. Let's see what this emotional adjustment, or this sorrow, or this grief, or this depression. And this, now that I separate the cards, this reads like depression, and it could be someone who's been drinking. But it also speaks to someone having, I think, dreams. That person in relief there in the black, that's like a nightmare. This is somebody who's dealing with their subconscious. Okay. Well. Now, same-sex or heterosexual, whomever's going to take the male in the relationship. Remember I said at the beginning, there are no women here. Okay? Not in the spread at all. There's no women. So here we have the Gran Signore, the Lord of the Manor, the man of high society. Okay? And so there's probably a lot of expectations on him, and perhaps a lot of expectations upon himself. But he is also considered to be like the King of Cups or the King of Hearts in this deck. The Dilettante. Now this is interesting because it comes out with this 7 of Cups. Dilettante speaks to stupid actions and stupid behaviors, but can also drunkenness. Okay, see the guy, they're drunk and they're carrying the one, they're walking down the street singing. It could speak to madness. It can speak to altered states. It could also speak to that kind of desire that makes you crazy. Okay. And then we have the Leggerezza. Now, this card is in a sense about sex, but the actual interpretation of the card is someone's sensitivity, their tact, their diplomacy, or their irritability factor. So, you know, take that for what it's worth. Now, that has what has come out over the 5 of Cups. And this could be literally somebody behaving rashly, maybe jumping the gun. Maybe they were very, very irritable, but now they regret having done that. But if that is the way that comes out, it is because the person is dealing with some other kind of emotional issue here. And, you know, it's not weakness to recognize that we have pains from our past, childhood wounds. These cards can sometimes represent children. So, you know, that is no, you know, there's no weakness in that. It is when you recognize that you can't drown those things out. You can't drink it away. You can't do drugs away from it. You can't, you know, fantasize it away. It's about, see that thing under the shroud? It's about figuring out what is it that really that I need in my life. Okay? Because everything else is a distraction. All right? And we can see that there's the dragon, which represents power. There's the laurel wreath, which represents peace and harmony. There's the riches. There's the castle, which represents a home. There is this self-actualization of the angel in the cup. And then there is the snake, the temptations. So what do I need in order to get all of this stuff to decide? What is it? And is all of it just a temptation? And those represent the 7 planetary governors. And I can't give them to you. Jupiter, Pluto, Saturn, Neptune. There's 4. There's 4 more, I think, or 3 more. And I can't come up with them all at once. But, and I think what's interesting is, for me in this card, is that the cup that has the wreath in it also has a cross, a skull. I don't know if you can see that. There is a skull. Let me see if I can get it up there. Can you see that skull? Right there? On that cup. So what do I have to get rid of to get that? What is going to have to end in my life? The letterato, the discovery. Remember I said that this could be somebody who could be having nightmares or fantasies or dreams. The discovery, something's going on and I don't really understand what it is. Okay, maybe I've chosen one of these things. I'm just going to choose one and go with it because I think that's what's going to help me. Here's the consolante sorpresa. The consolante sorpresa is just that. It's a consolation. It's a comfort. It's not really what you need, but you accept it. But that is robbing you of something. There is the yardro, okay? The thief. And that's a negative change. And this is what the internal conflict is about. Now, let's take a look at this 2 of Wands. Well, what do I do about that? You know, what the hell do I do about that? And then I'm going to pull these cards up and I'm going to pull 7 cards and ask, what advice can the tarot offer? Okay. And like anything, the magician, okay, you can either take that and craft it to your own devices, or you can completely leave it alone if you so choose. Sleight of hand. I'll pretend to do it. I'm going to act like I'm doing it. Or I'm just going to slide it away where nobody can see it. We see that there was a happiness of the heart. Now, the La Vida Sibilas distinguish between happiness with friends and family and then personal happiness. Okay, so here is the happiness of the heart. And this card to me speaks of, it's like the 3 of Cups. It's in the past position. But now we see the dispiacere, the worry, and the tears. And then we see the pensiero. This is thought or meditation. I'm thinking, what should I do? What should I do? What should I do? There's something or someone that makes me happy. I have upset them. I myself am now upset. What should I do? What should I do? I want to take a quick look at this 3 of coins here. And sometimes this can be about, you know, recognizing that what happened or what I said or what I did or the way things went down was a mistake. And being able to admit that it was a mistake. Maybe you've admitted to yourself that it is a mistake, But in order to get out of that Seven of Cups, maybe you need to talk to that person and say, you know what, it was a mistake, you know. And I do feel that if that is done, it will be accepted. I don't see anything negative saying, you know, no, the person's not gonna, it's gonna, you know, there are no swords cards here. And that's interesting to me. There are absolutely no swords cards. So this could be a situation where there isn't going to be that kind of communication. That's on hold right now. This represents to me those Mercury. This is like gathering information behind the scenes. This could be someone who's slowly making their way towards the truth or whatever news needs to come out. There's a Magician. He represents Mercury. Right. That's what I was saying. It's a mistake. It was whatever this is speaking about, it was a mistake. Disgrazia, there's the Tower card. Okay? The house on fire. And there's two references to a house. Somebody building something together. It was a mistake. Perhaps one that happened quite quickly out of the blue. Why? Belvedere, great foresight and planning. Maybe somebody's trying to run away from this. Okay? But yet they can't. There's the man tied to his past. Okay? And I really don't think in the normal scheme of things that people want to do things that put them in mourning or that make them depressed. And again, that is the message. So I think whatever happened, whatever occurred was simply a mistake. It could have been, you know, the timing. It could be that the person wasn't ready to take a good hard look at whatever was going on with him. You know, we're only human, and you know, we make mistakes. And those people who really, really care about you will understand that. Now, if this is something that you've made a habit of, if you're dealing with, let's say, for instance, that you've got a relative who has a drinking or a drug problem, and countless times you've bailed them out, okay? And then this time you decided that you're just not going to do it anymore, all right? Well, all the times that you've helped them before, that was a mistake, you know, but you did it with good intentions. You know, but now you can do it a different way, okay? And maybe you need to explain that to that person. And that's just an example, all right? You know, this could play out for people in many, many different ways. So I'm not, you know, this could be work, it could be family, it could, you know, friends, yourself, a romantic relationship. But it just reads like, you know, it was some kind of, I don't know, mistake. I find it curious that there's no swords cards there. And that everything was framed with these 4 wands on the end, all cups across the center, and then the 2 major arcana. And just the way the cards came out, and the cross that it made in the center was quite interesting. And I'm, you know, I'm sensing that there's more to that story, and more probably that I could have shared with you. I feel that, but I'm not able to translate that into my brain. It's not coming. I empathetically feel it, but psychically, I can't bring it forward out of my brain. So, you know, I'll be doing more open readings this week. Maybe that will be a continuation. I don't know. Okay. So let's pull 7 cards to see what advice the cards would like to give. Let me get another good rifle on these. We don't want the same cards coming out back to back. However, if they do, that means that they are meant to be that way. And then we're going to pull, and I like to pull 7 cards because it kind of gives me a past where we are, where we've gone, where we've been, where we are right now, to where we want to go, with the card in the center being our focus card. What is most important in this that you should pay attention to? And again, you know, Take what you can, disregard what you cannot. Ultimately, only you are responsible for the decisions that you make, right? You can either create your heaven or you can create your own hell. And you don't need help doing that. So, one more rifle. Oh, come on, get in there. We're going to take this pile out of the center. 7 cards. Well, here's our first swords. 8 of Swords. Ah, the High Priestess. Wow. The Queen of Wands. The 9 of Swords. The 7 of Pentacles. There's that 3 of Pentacles again. And the 2 of Cups. Mental prison. And mental prisons, I think, are the toughest kind of prisons you can try to escape from. Yeah? Because it is really all about the way you think. Sometimes the way we think blinds us and binds us to a particular spot or roots us. This card can sometimes be the victim card. I don't know why this happened to me. I don't know why I'm still in this situation. I don't know how come I didn't see that coming. Okay. Well, break free of those bonds. Remove that blindfold and you'll see you're not trapped. And again, the messages change the way that you think about the situation, that you view it. All of those swords are at rest. Okay. So this is kind of like somebody who just can't muster up the mental energy to break out of whatever mental prison that they have themselves, placed themselves in. Here we have the High Priestess. Again, it's another representation of the moon. Now, if the High Priestess is a person, this is going to be somebody who, she could be like a librarian, have a lot of esoteric knowledge. She could even be a card reader. She can also speak to mothers. That deep wisdom sometimes that those female relatives or friends have. They may not say anything. They may watch you go through it and hope you're going to figure it out on your own. But if you go to them and you ask them, I think they would be willing to provide you that whatever it is that you need. But the High Priestess is also about your intuition and trusting whatever messages are coming through for you. Really, really taking the time out to get in touch with what you are feeling. Okay. See those pomegranates there? That speaks to abundance. The seeds are already planted. It is up to you to do the gardening, to water and to nurture and to take care of them. Now we have this Queen of Wands, and this is quite interesting because she, in a sense, would represent a fire sign individual. Leo, Leo, Sagittarius, and Aries. But as I was saying in, I don't know, another reading, I have seen the cards kind of show up like the transits. And we know we have a lot of planets and transits going on in the sign of Aries right now. And typically when that happens, the reason why this will show up as that sign is that there's somebody who might be of this sign who may cross your path. If they are not of this sign, say for instance, they could have Aries on the descendant. The descendant represents your partner, the qualities that you look for in a partner, the qualities that you project onto a partner. So this is somebody who's going to be fiery, who's going to be feisty, who's not afraid to maybe, have a quick temper and a sharp tongue. That would be more so of the Queen of Swords. But this person can, they can do a little bit of damage and quickly. This can also represent someone who owns their own business, who themselves may have some kind of quote-unquote psychic pipeline, who can also be someone who's very, very powerful, okay? And then we see this 9, and this is where we were before. So I feel that, and I do sense that this is a reading is about a male or male energy. And this is speaking about some kind of relationship issue that's going on that way. Now, for you women out there, if you recognize this situation, this is the reading of perhaps maybe what the guy's thinking or what he's going through. We have the 9 of Swords. And the 9 of Swords is the card of worry, anxiety, fear, nightmares, not being able to sleep. This is the subconscious card. But because they are swords, what we're dealing with are things that are coming up. Again, it is that that script, that self-script that our ego's telling us. And this card can be about somebody who might be egotistical in that sense, okay? And this is that script that's coming up. That self-script, that negative script, that ego script that's coming up. This could also be about having guilt over something that you've done or guilt over something that you are thinking about doing. As you see, those arrows or those swords are pointing towards the future here. So this card comes in to say, look, okay, we have built up all of these things, whatever these things are, okay? I know that right there, we've done that. But I want to do something else. And I'm either worried about how that's going to play out, or I'm worried about how that's going to be perceived, because what are swords? They are thoughts, beliefs, perceptions, ideas, and communications. But this is a card about waiting for the harvest to come in, okay? So you've already put the work in. So there is, I don't want to necessarily say there's a firm foundation, but that is repeated here in this card. Whatever this was that you've tended, it is trying to bear fruit. Now you got to figure out what you need to do to gather this harvest. Okay. What do I do? Let me take a break from this. Okay. Because I can see there's a potential there. There's gold there. Okay. I've already mined that. I know that it exists. What do I do about that? And how do I incorporate that? And it'll give you 8 coins. Okay, which means there's going to be some work. But look, we go from 7 to 3, and that's a 10 of coins. Okay, if you add those two together. Why? Because you've met your match. That's why. Now, and that can be quite a frightening prospect. Indeed, it can. But I think that if that person, I don't see that there is fear. I think the other person knows that they are okay. They accept the high priestess. They accept it. They just accept it and they know. And so this could be about the male part of the relationship is a little skittish on what should happen or what should be done or how to do it or if they even want to do it. Commitment can be a funny, funny thing. You know, all of the success in the world doesn't mean that card keeps coming out. Recovery. Now, I want to read that meaning because it just flew out of the deck. Y'all saw that, right? Let me look at it. 66. I remember I was talking about somebody perhaps being depressed or maybe drinking, secretly drinking, or some kind of secret addiction. This could even be a sex addiction. What the hell? Everything in America is an addiction now. Breathing is an addiction. Well, yeah, you need to do that, right? Recovery. This is a period of recovery and healing for you. The challenging emotions that you've been dealing with will fade away with time. Although it may be difficult to see now, there is a joyful future awaiting you. But for now, take all the time you need to regain your strength. This card can also mean that your recovery is nearly finished or already complete. Send words of gratitude to heaven and begin planning for the next exciting phase of your life. Okay, so whatever this is, I think there's going to be some kind of recovery. And I don't want to use the word rebound because it's not that. But it just means that things are going to turn around. And that could be why that whole spread was framed with the 4 wands. Okay. Someone is regaining their energy and their strength back. And this could be emotionally, with those swords, mentally. You know, because sometimes the worst guilt is the guilt trip that we put on ourselves. Okay? We can be our most negatives to ourselves than anybody else. We can be our own harshest critics. And there really is no need for that. And I think that people can be, for me, even though it was kind of a mixed message with those 3 cups in the center, the Page of Cups, the 5 of Cups, and the 7 of Cups, they're all cups. And so cups really can be cathartic, and they can be a moment of healing and a moment of love and a moment of acceptance. But if we don't feel that we deserve those things, or we are dragging around the baggage of what happened to us before, we got burned before, things didn't work out before, then that's a guilt trip that you're laying on yourself. You know? So I'm not gonna afford myself this moment of healing and this moment of catharsis and this moment of forgiveness because of what happened to me before. And in a sense, that's like a self-punishing guilt trip. I was stupid. I shouldn't have done it. You know, no. You know, you can buy into that if you want. But if that's what you've been doing, where's it gotten you? So anyway, Heart Oracle Tarot. 1 card. The Rebuild card. Now, this is the Tower card in this deck. And this is another major arcana. Now, we know from the Rider-Waite deck that the Tower speaks to a tearing down of something so that you can rebuild it. This is the Uranus card. Look at the lightning. Look at the lightning. Uranus rules lightning, shock, awe, changing situations, inventions, eureka moments. And look at her heart chakra. She's holding this. So this is about rebuilding, literally rebuilding the heart. This could be also an indication that there might be somebody that has heart trouble. Okay, in which case, if you're really stressed out about this situation, what are you going to do about it? You know, take care of your health. But this is about a healing that's trying to take place. Now, let's read this card here. It is the number 16. The key words are collapse, expose, create, pretense, revelation, and awareness. The dynamics of a relationship can often be complicated. The longer you've been in a relationship, the more complex it can be. And that could be why somebody's looking at that damn 7 coins on that bush. Okay? Relationships begin to grow many layers, consisting of joys, sorrows, honesty, and duplicity. As these layers build on top of each other, it becomes increasingly difficult to know what the core of the relationship is based on. What was once love may now appear to be merely tolerance, or worse. Even in good relationships, you may find yourself growing apart from the other person. In either case, the weight of these layers can cause a relationship to collapse. Now may be a good time to start fresh with one or more of your relationships. Peel off the layers one by one. Cut away any pretense and see what may be revealed. Find the core of the relationship and decide if it's still what you want and what you find attractive. If so, then discard the old layers and consciously create a new commitment with the person or persons. One based on truth, honesty, and love. Use the awareness gained by this exercise to steer the relationship on a clear, steady course. The same applies to rebuilding the relationship with yourself. Examine your many layers of joys and sorrows, successes and failures, and think about how they are affecting you and your ability to love yourself, and therefore to find love. Expose the false voices that tell you that you're unworthy and silence them. When you do, your true value will be revealed. Rebuild your life around unconditional love for yourself and invite in unconditional love from others. The affirmation of this card says, I cut to the core of my relationships and consciously rebuild them. And remember, I kept saying that that's what it looked like was happening in the cards. The cards don't always speak very, very directly. So it really is up to the reader how they are interpreted. But that's what I kept getting. And what it is, the rebound. Remember I said it's like a rebound, but that wasn't the right word. The word was rebuild. That's what it was. So until next time, enjoy your full moon and namaste.